Joe, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Go to Darby Allin's Twitter and pull that promo for him and Joey Janela's match.
Jelly Nutella.
There was a promo for that match?
There's a pro on Twitter.
That's what Cornette calls him, right?
Right. So I want to. Yeah, he does. But I want you guys to watch this, okay? And I just want because here's the difference between like the AEW system, which is basically guys from WWE or indie guys, right? Mm-hmm. And you can tell when the guys have not been through the WWE system, right? But in the WWE system, the way they produce their packages, their promos, their characters, and stuff, everything, there's just a level of professionalism above AEW, right? I want you to watch this and tell me what you think about this.
I love it already.
When I first heard of Joey Janela, he was the most talked about independent wrestler in the whole world. Fast forward to Fyter Fest. I was making my debut in this company, AEW. And he was main eventing the show. Look where we are now, Joey.
Our places have switched. You're kind of the guy. You're kind of the man of AEW. You're the TNT champion. We have a long history of mangling ourselves for what we love. Oh, we have a long history, Darby, of mangling each other. But next week, AEW Dynamite, the stakes have never been so high. Joey Janela one-on-one with Darby Allin for the TNT title.
You're like half the man you used to be. You're hardly on the show. I just don't think you care anymore. And that pisses me off. You got this opportunity once in a lifetime, something that people thought you would never get. No one thought someone like me or you would be in AEW on national television. See, that's the difference between you and me, Joey. I ran with this opportunity. I made something of myself. I didn't sit down and cry like a little bitch. Because I am the TNT champion, and you're wasting my time and everybody else's. I want the Joey Janela that was main event these shows. This isn't the goddamn independence anymore, Joey.
Guess what, Darby? Joey Janela's back. And the future TNT champion is gonna be a bad, bad boy.
Give me everything you got next week, Joey, or get the hell out of here.
So that was like the best production quality vignette they've done in a long time, right? And it's just like I'm looking at that, like, you know, they. But I'm like, but here's it's not a gripe, but I just can't get over the fact that when I'm watching this, that they're putting all this production, and it's like the characters are talking in this and everything, and I'm buying the production. I'm not buying a thing that comes out of their mouth. You know, it's like they still don't like these guys. These like I don't know what it is about these independent wrestlers that just never learn or stuff. But there's just things that there's a way you're supposed to talk. Like you need to talk tougher or more real, or there's just something about what you say that resonates with people, and I just do not get it from like either of those and that. And I know Joey Janela can cut a promo.
Let me say this.
What do you think?
Let me say this real quick. Sure. When it started and they were first establishing their characters and whatever, I thought to myself, this looks like two backyard guys.
Right, and they're talking about independent wrestling.
You're right, but by the end, Darby kind of got me there. I was very impressed with him by the end. Well,
I'm just saying the thing is like they're giving this higher level of production to make give your characters more like growth and stuff and like the super status and stuff, and they're talking about independent wrestling in their promos. You know, it's like
because that's where they
come
from.
Yeah, I get it.
I know.
You got to remember. Almost all their fans are independent wrestling fans.
Yeah.
So that's why all these guys that come like Joey Janela and Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy, they're so over with their fan base. Okay? Now, one quick question. What was behind Joey Janela? Giant crayons?
No, they were cones.
Oh, they were cones?
What the cones?
Anyways, this is probably the best promo I've ever heard Darby Allin do. I hadn't even seen this, so but
Do you know where they aired this for what it was produced?
On Twitter.
On Twitter.
They didn't air it on
Twitter. They started from Darby Allin's.
They didn't air it on TNT, didn't they?
No, wait.
Oh, wow.
They aired it on Monday on the Road to show that they air on YouTube, and I didn't watch it. So that was the first time I was watching it, and I'm like, dude, the best stuff that they produce as promos backstage, they don't air them on TV, and that's wrong.
It's like, how dumb is that?
That's a waste.
Did they shoot that at DP's house?
Who?
That's the most important
I don't know.
stuff.
I don't think he has giant crayons in his house.
They shoot it there in Jacksonville. They shoot it there in Jacksonville, and they produce them with DDP.
His crew.
It's not. First of all, you have a lot of people backstage that can produce some pretty cool content. Okay, you have to deliver them content to produce.
That's good. Thank you.
Right. So it's like, you know, like, why would you, if you have good content creators like the people that made that video, why would you not highlight their work on the show where we're trying to draw our audience? Like, this is obviously a good piece of representation of our product to present to the fans to see if we can draw more fans with this.
Right. And here's another thing that was weird to me. He has the balls and the unmitigated gall, boom.
Very nice.
To say.
Tremendous.
It is tremendous. He goes, hey, you're hardly ever here to wrestle. You never wrestle either.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're always up in the stands like Crow 2.0, you know what I'm saying? But here's the problem now I have with Darby, even though I did like that promo. After all this buildup, after everything they've done with him, he still doesn't come off like a star to me.
But there
Am I
was
the only one that gets that
you're
vibe?
right. No,
I completely
it's very
agree.
monotone. Like, it's just status.
Yeah.
There's nothing that elevates it. You know
I
what
felt
mean?
like that all
Look,
along when it came to him.
The stars of this company are Jericho, Cody,
MJF,
MJF,
Moxley.
and Moxley. And I don't think he's there
Yes,
yet.
well,
Not in the category of those.
you're right,
because those guys, all those guys have the WWE crossover audience.
No, but bro, ever since he's been with Don Callis, bro, he's been one of the most entertaining things on the show.
Omega the first year it was iffy, but this year he's been way better.
Yeah.
And it's been 5 weeks.
You guys can disagree with me, but you know where that usually ends up for you.
Would
So,
you believe in you're right
we
when
respect
you're wrong?
we respect your right to be wrong, Disco.
Correct.
So let me tell you about the finish of this match, right?
Right.
Allen applied a Fujiwara armbar in the ring, but Janela was able to crawl towards the ropes. Allen attempted a springboard, but Janela countered into a German suplex. He then landed a kick and covered for a near fall. They went back and forth for a moment until Darby landed a stunner for a near fall. Darby then pulled Janela into a La Magistral pin, whatever that is, for another 2 count. Oh, that's one of those rolling things.
Right.
Janela countered with a pile driver to pin for another near fall. Janela placed Allen on the top rope and got into position for a superplex. Darby used elbows to break free and landed an avalanche code red for near fall, whatever that is.
Yeah, well, that was like a code red from the third. That should have been a finish. They just
I'm going to hit this on the nail on the head on this, right? Allen landed a back heel trip with the hammer like applied. He then climbed on top and landed a coffin drop for the win, right? So this match highlighted a trend for the week that I've seen in professional wrestling. Like I look at professional wrestling, like what does the product look like for everybody that consumes everything, right? And if you watch all this, it's like, what do you notice that doesn't look good? And I've specifically pointed to a lot of things that do not look good, and that I see at some point they're actually starting to try to correct, regardless of whether it's because we've been promoting on the show or not. But the fact is that a lot of guys are throwing far less forearms.
Guys
are throwing more punches.
Right. Punches.
Okay,
I noticed that.
Which looks better for the work.
Mm-hmm.
All right, when it's done correctly and done well. Right, there's 2 spots that look atrocious. Right now, and it's constantly on television, and it's all over the TV. When you're standing you're in the corner or you're against the ropes, and the guy comes running at you, and you backdrop the guy over the top rope when he lands on the apron. Okay, if you're doing that spot, especially if you're against the ropes, the way you're supposed to do it is because you're going to fly over the ropes. Okay, Baron Corbin did this against Dominic the other night, and it looked atrocious. He runs at him, but it doesn't look like he's running at him to do anything. He's not like trying to clothesline or trying to. He's just running and then just jumps over the top rope. If you're picking that up and like catching 10 seconds before that spot happened, you're watching the guy do that. You know what happened to that guy? He just had a mental breakdown. He just jumped over the top rope.
He did pull the rope down, but it looked badly timed.
The execution looked so bad that the timing was so off. There's no way it looked like he could have prevented himself. Right?
But he's just charging at him. He's not trying to throw a forearm or anything.
The way you're supposed to do it, me and Conan talked about it earlier. You're supposed to go run at the guy and throw a flying clothesline. You've left your feet. You're trying to clothesline him over the top rope. He ducks, but because you're basically throwing the clothesline and flying over the rope anyway, you're just catching the rope with your left hand to take the bump. And then it's a simple way to cover the spot, and nobody does it. And it's like, dude, do you people think it looks good when you're doing it the way you're doing it now, where you're just running at the guy half speed? You're not even running full. You're not even running fast enough to where a guy should be able to backdrop you. Okay, you're backdropping yourself over.
It's even worse when
what it is it looks like a high spot. That's exactly what it looks like.
But the thing is, the spot is it's a bad habit that everybody has. It's a poorly executed spot. Over the course of 9 hours, it's very evident.
Yeah.
And you guys start watching for it because you will see it constantly, and it looks atrocious, right? And the same thing when they run in and they pull the rope down, he dives over the top rope, same spot. But this was another thing they do that is getting they're constantly doing this in all the shows, okay? They're doing all these devastating moves off the top rope, and none of them are getting 3 counts. Everything is a false finish.
Or selling it.
Exactly. And it's like, there's tons of these. It's like, bro, I'm gonna read, like, we'll read the matches over the course of 9 hours. Dude, the amount of times this happens is ridiculous.
I did like when JR said, I don't know if he said it before the match or after the match.
Well, what's it going to take to pin Joey Janela? I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
You know?
And he also said what's Kenta doing here? What the hell's he doing here? What's his purpose here? Like all the questions we had last week.
Yeah.
Right.
He asked him, which I liked.
Yeah, it's like he sets up Excalibur that way,